Hey, what's up, guys? It is Dan from FightWave, and today I'm joined by somebody I'm incredibly excited to speak with for the second time again. He is one of my favorite flyweights on the active roster. He faces Sue Mudarji at UFC 302 on June 1st here stateside. He's racked up two remarkable fights in the UFC thus far against Felipe Bunes and Kevin Borjas. If you have not watched the Kevin Borjas fight, you are making a mistake. One of the best flyweight fights I've seen as of late. I am joined by the pride of Myanmar, the Burmese legend, Joshua Van. How are we doing today, Joshua?
Good, brother. How we doing?
Absolutely remarkable, Joshua. And first and foremost, my God, what a way to make an entrance in the UFC. You look at your fights in the UFC, one of the most entertaining flyweights at only 22 years of age. You've racked up two impressive wins so far against Felipe Bunes and Kevin Borjas. Talk to me about how you're feeling, and obviously the fight with Sue Mudarji. You got the Tibetan Warrior versus the Burmese Warrior come UFC 302.
Man, this fight I'm really excited for it. He's top 15, so you know what I'm saying. I'm entering the top 15. And that was the goal for this year too. Getting up there with the top guy and stuff like that. And yeah, and then my fight got canceled 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So I'm just excited to get back in there. Whoever they put in front of me, I'll be excited. But this guy, man, I'm extra excited for this one.
No, yeah, definitely. And we talk about the momentum that you've had in the division thus far. You came into your first fight against Jaga Zhumagulov. That was a remarkable win. I completely forgot about that one. My apologies. And then you got on top of that the momentum from the Felipe Bunes fight, where your pace was unbelievable. And then the Kevin Borjas fight at Madison Square Garden, which was, my God, it was what a way to open up a card first and foremost against Kevin Borjas, another great fighter. You've quickly racked up an impressive win streak in the UFC. I think improving to 3-0 as of your UFC run, and you're inserting yourself potentially into a top 15 that is right now looking the best it's ever looked. Talk to me about your thoughts on the division and just being able to see how fast the division has kind of resurged and grown into what it once was.
Man, it was crazy when I was fighting in the local scene. They was talking about shutting down that 125 division and stuff like that. So it was kind of like I was kind of like, damn, man, they like, what am I gonna do? Because I'm naturally like 125, like I'm not too big and stuff like that. So but like the 25, the flyweight division, man, it got to where it is. Like is because of us younger generation. You know what I'm saying? Like we got that Japanese kid, and then we got Archive and stuff like that. So all these young guys, man, like they bringing in those exciting fight and stuff like that. So right now, I'm happy for the flyweight division, man.
No, yeah, definitely. And one thing I wanted to highlight was how young you mentioned how young the division is right now. Even the champion himself is still in his prime, only like 30, 33, or 34 years of age if I remember correctly. But like, you got guys like Muhammad Mokaev, born in 2000, Tatsuro Taira, who's still relatively young. You got Jake, what do you call it? I'm trying to remember. Jake Hadley. Sorry, Jake Hadley. You have Jake Hadley also, and then you got yourself and so many other young fighters. The division is incredibly young in comparison, and I feel like it's kind of redialed and reset the clock in the UFC, where you see a lot of other divisions, a lot of other people are much older. But at 125, we see all the young fighters are truly like in their early 20s or like, very early on in their careers. So talk to me a little bit about that and how that
Mhm.
motivates you seeing, fellow young fighters that are still excelling at a high level.
You know, uh, for me, my motivation is that I'm trying to beat John record. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what motivate a lot of young fighters. Myself, Mokai talk like you hear Mokai talk a lot about in becoming the youngest champion and stuff like that. I think that was one of our main thing is to actually see like who gonna get the that title, like the youngest champion and stuff like that. So I think for me that was my biggest motivation. And on top of that, like seeing all these young guys, like I'm like, damn, like they only 23, 24s, and then they get to that level, like it just make me push harder, man.
No, yeah, definitely. Last time something we didn't really cover, but I wanted to touch on it now is, the pride that you have for where you come from. You don't shy away from showing pride for your roots. And, talking about growing up in Myanmar and moving to the States, having your fair share of adversities that have molded you into the fighter and person that you are today. Talk to me a little bit about just overcoming some of those adversities from, like, being bullied from coming here as a new person coming to the United States, and just being able to overcome that through fighting. What has that meant for you to see the growth, and also just this journey as you reflect on it now?
Man, like, coming from Myanmar, like my country, man, is a lot of respect and stuff like that. Respect for like older generation and stuff like that. So when I first moved to United States, like it was a lot different. You know what I'm saying? Like he'd talk back to the teachers and stuff like that, and then it was a whole different world for me. And yeah, going to school, we get bullied, like we getting called names and stuff like that. So I was the type of person that wouldn't let that slide. A lot of Asian kids in my school, they would let that shit slide, but I wasn't gonna do that. So I was like actually like protecting myself. So I don't know how to say things back because I don't speak English and stuff like that. So the only way for me to protect myself was to actually throw in hand and stuff like that. So yeah, uh, yeah, man, it's that street fight and school fight that got me into fighting career.
No, yeah, definitely. And from another interview, I think jokingly you mentioned pretty good in the street fighting circuit. All but one undefeated. Talk to me just a little bit about using eventually, like you mentioned. I think it was eventually one street fight that your friends kind of prompted you to go into fighting, and when you went into a gym, and the rest is history. But what was young Joshua Van like in the streets? What was he a menace? Was he throwing down in the streets? What was that kind of dynamic like going up against kids who are some of them much taller, some of them much bigger, but yet you're going in there and you're giving them the work. What was that whole experience like?
Man, growing up, bro, like I was well known for being a street fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll go to this school, but like a different school would know about me, and they were just like, "Let's fight," stuff like that. So yeah, I was known for. And then funny thing is, I was like, I was only like, I don't know what MMA and all this combat sport were, but like, I like watching Mike Tyson and like school fight and stuff like that. So I do my research, on YouTube, and then like I actually try them on the street fight. Like, you know what I mean? When I'm actually fighting, like I'll try some shit that I see on YouTube and stuff like that. So they work. So even before I was training, I was learning by myself, like self-taught basically.
No, yeah, definitely. Just like basically learning how to study film through maybe an unconventional set of circumstances, but more importantly, I think that netted you where you are now. Obviously, where you're at, 4 Ounce Fight Club under head coach Daniel Pineda and also UFC fighter Daniel Pineda. It's been a remarkable journey just to see how quickly you've kind of rose up the flyweight ladder. I remember your last fight against Cleveland McLean before getting into the UFC. Just the really impressive thing that you've accumulated on the regional circuit, and on top of that inside the UFC. Talk to me just a little bit about still only being 22. You talk about wanting to break John Jones's record. What would it mean for you to be able to break that record and take a belt back to Myanmar, or represent for Myanmar at the highest level with a championship victory?
Man, that would be everything. Like that would mean everything, bro. Becoming the youngest champion. First I already break the record of like the first Myanmar, UFC fighters, and to become, like, put it this way, bro. I will be like I'll actually break like three record in like at once. Like, put it this way, the first Asian male, UFC champion, the youngest champion, you know what I mean? And then the first Burmese champion. So it's like it will mean everything to me, bro. Like that's just the goal right now.
No, yeah, definitely. And just to touch back a little bit earlier, you mentioned, when you came from Myanmar to the States, just a big culture shock. But one thing I know especially in South among Southeast Asian culture, is the tight knit bond of the family. And you've mentioned the love for your mother and how she's been there for you every step of the way through your fighting career. What has it meant for you to have your fighting career just met with the support that it has, and have your family be there every step of the way? And how has that kind of lit an extra fire under you to have your mom be there every step of the way? Because I know a mother and son's bond, it's not quite like any other bond I think I've seen in this world.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, having my mom's support is everything to me. Before my fight, every fight, she pray for me. Even like when I fight in New York, Vegas, like she would come to my hotel room like a night before, and she would pray for me. Like the whole family come through and pray for me and stuff like that. That just put fire in me. Like, yeah, seeing my family, it was just like this is what I be working on. Yeah, y'all about to see. You know what I mean? Like they don't see me train every day, but like to actually show them like what I be working on, that kind of put fire in me.
No, yeah, definitely. And what was the experience like for you just to be able to, I know for a lot of fighters stateside, that bucket list item or accolade of fighting at Madison Square Garden is otherworldly for a lot of them. What was the experience like for you to walk into the mecca of entertainment in New York City and put on an absolute show with Kevin Borjas at UFC 295?
Man, like if I say this, a lot of people might get mad, but like fighting in Madison Square Garden for me, it wasn't like all that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like fight is a fight, so it's like it don't matter where you fight. You can fight in the backyard, and then if you win, you win. You know what I mean? Like I love winning, so I don't really pay attention to like where I'm fighting and stuff like that. So
No, yeah, definitely. But one thing's for sure, Joshua Van has to fight in front of a crowd. I don't think I could live with seeing you fight at the Apex again. That is a federal war crime to see you fight at the Apex. The entertainment that you bring to the flyweight division, I don't think we'll see that from a lot of other young fighters inside the UFC, period. Just the entertainment value you bring with your pace, your boxing. You're so well developed for such a young fighter. With your boxing and striking skill set, but also underrated takedown defense. I feel like I feel like that doesn't get talked about enough. But
no, man.
work in progress. But you'll let them know soon enough. But talk to me just a little bit about sharpening the skill set, being able to have such a strong fundamental skill set so early on in your career. Because I know when we see young fighters, you look at the Arman Sarukians, the Song Yadongs, the Ilya Topurias, those guys that come in incredibly young, but they're so polished. We see where they have gone. What has it been like for you to be able to have such a polished and finite skill set early on that has really been able to take you to this next level?
Man, shout out to all my teammates for 4 rounds. Like when I first got there, man, I would literally get fucked up every day. Like I get the striking part, but it was a whole different story. When we're talking about grappling and wrestling and stuff like that. So man, I've been with them a little over a year now. So yeah, man, like it really worked for me. I guess like what I'm saying, like my ground game is definitely like getting better. And then what I'm saying, like my last two fight, I started taking down people. You know what I mean? I might just be a wrestler. I might just be a wrestler now, man. You never know. But we keep working on that. Like my partner, man. All my partner are like great wrestler and stuff like that. So I learn a lot from them.
No, yeah, definitely. And Josh, I want to thank you so much for your time. Always a privilege to speak with you, brother, and pick your brain on topics. And the work that you've done as of late has just been remarkable. 3-0 inside the UFC, very early on in your UFC career. Still only 22 years of age. You've got a year and a half towards going towards that coveted John Jones record. Talk to me a little bit just about the goals for 2024, because with the win over Sumudarji at UFC 302, that sets you up for, an unbelievable next year and a half should you choose to pursue this record. Talk to me about the goals for 2024 and just being able to kind of get one step closer towards that goal of being the youngest champion in UFC history.
So my goal is I'm gonna beat this guy, knock him out, and then we move on to the top 10. And then beat that guy. And if they want to give me one more fight before the title, then because I want to get two more fight this year, so I'm gonna get this fight and then maybe one more around like I don't know if they want to give me three fight, I'm down, but most likely they would just give me two fights. So most likely I'll fight in November, December. You know what I mean? I win that top 10, and then early next year I'm gonna be yeah, I'm gonna get the belt for sure. So
No, yeah, so I can't wait to. I can't wait to watch you, just compete, because I feel like when you are competing, it is the funnest time for the flyweight division, because when we have so many moving parts, with yourself being one of them, the division just gets so much more entertaining. And Josh, I want to thank you so much for your time and for the great chat, and for the fans at home watching. Do be sure to check out Joshua Van versus Sumu Darji at UFC 302 on June 1st. It's gonna be an exciting fight. Do be sure to check out Joshua Van on social media. I will be linking his socials in the description down below. For all my Burmese followers and fans, and for all the Myanmar supporters, check him out on social media. Support your guy. It goes a long way in supporting your local fighter. And it's been me, Dan, from Fight Wave. Hope you guys have enjoyed the interview. Do be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day, guys.